Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my course called Approaching a Lead Sheet. This is going to be part one, and we're going to talk about different ways to approach a lead sheet from kind of easier to more intermediate. And I hope that you enjoy this course. I hope you find it interesting, and I hope, even if you're not a pianist, you can kind of gather some ideas from a pianist perspective, and maybe that'll help you as a horn player to kind of understand what's going on. So the first piece that we're going to dig into today is a standard called Blue Bossa. And this is kind of a piece that usually is given to like a middle school jazz band, maybe kind of an early high school jazz band. And this is a great piece to study because it does have a tonal center, but it does kind of rotate from that one tonal center to another key in the middle of the piece and then back to that tonal center at the end. So the first question you have to ask when you're approaching a lead sheet is thinking about what exactly is, who are you playing with exactly? So in this case, we're going to start off just as a piano solo, and I'm going to show you melody and chords. And then, obviously if we were playing this as a piano solo, like at a restaurant or hotel or something, we would also need a bass line. So we'll learn melody, chords, bass line, and then kind of how you would approach it if you're playing, say, like in a trio, piano, bass, drums, or if you're playing in a larger combo, and how really it would look different. So first of all, we have to look at this piece, and if you're seeing it on your screen right now, you can see that this piece is in the key of C minor. Now, without getting too much detailed into the theory, C minor is the relative minor key of E flat. And if you understand all 12 of your keys, the key of E flat has B flat, E flat, and A flat as its flats. Okay, so B flat, E flat, and A flat. So anytime that you're playing a chord, these are kind of the diatonic flats that match this key. Okay, so we're going to start off just by playing the first chord in the song, which is a C minor 7 chord. Okay, so to start off, and this is kind of a great trick you can do with any minor chord, I want you to remember this formula. It's called the 3-4 formula. So essentially, you're going to take your starting pitch of C. You're going to go up 3 half steps. There's your middle note, and then you're going to go up 4 half steps from there. And there's your C minor triad. Now, if you already knew that C minor was C, E flat, G, great. But if you forgot that, remember the 3-4 formula. It will work for any minor chord. Now this is a minor 7th, C minor 7th, so we're also going to add a B flat. If you want to go by the formula again, this is going to be 3-4-3. So 3-4-3 for any type of minor 7th chord. So there's my root, 3 half steps, another 4, there's G, and then another 3. Okay? So these are my 4 notes in the C minor 7 chord. Okay? Now, this is an exercise you can do on your own, but really, when you learn a chord for the first time, you also want to learn every inversion that goes with it. That means, say I have like an apple, an orange, and a banana. If I then have it be an orange, a banana, and an apple, I still have the same 3 fruits. They're just in a different order. So it's kind of that way with chords. We have these 4 notes, C, E flat, G, B flat, and if we put them in a different order, it's still going to be essentially the same thing. It's still going to function the same way. So here is that C minor chord, what we call root position. Okay, then we're going to go first inversion. So E flat, G, B flat, C. And then G, B flat, C, E flat, second inversion. And then third inversion, B flat, C, E flat, G. So here's those root position chord and the 3 inversions. Okay, so essentially what we're going to do is we start off here is we have the melody. That's the very start of the melody. So if you can read your lead sheet, you can read that in the right hand. So by itself, it sounds kind of boring. So we're going to add this C minor 7th in the left hand. Now we could play it in root position, or you can play any of the inversions. So you can kind of play around with, which one you like the best. I kind of think the first inversion one sounds really nice. Okay, then we're going to get to our next chord, which is F minor 7. So again, we're going to use that 3-4-3 formula. So here's F, 3 half steps, A flat, 4 half steps, and there is my F minor triad. I'm going to add 3 more half steps for the 7th. So F, A flat, C, E flat. This is my F minor 7. And again, you can practice this in various inversions. Root position, first inversion, second inversion, third inversion. Okay? Now the trick is when you are playing this chord in the left hand, you want to go most easily from the pass chord. So let's say I did that first inversion. Okay, then maybe I want to go to root position of the F minor 7 chord. But I don't have to do that. I can do all root position. And in fact, when you're starting out, maybe that's probably the best because it's the simplest to remember. It sometimes gets confusing to remember where all the inversions are located on the piano. But once you have them down, you'll never forget them. So anytime you have that C minor 7 or F minor 7, you can remember that root position way to play it and also the way of playing it with the 3 inversions. Okay, now this next chord, this is called a half diminished 7th, okay? So this is essentially a diminished triad with a major third on the top. And I'll kind of explain what that means. So this is a D half diminished 7th. So we'll go with D. Now a diminished chord, a diminished triad, kind of sounds very super depressing. It's got that sound to it. It's essentially a 3-3-3-3 formula if you're talking about just the triad. So 3-3. So here's my root, D, go 3 half steps. And then we're going to have 3 more half steps. So if you think of it as, oh, it's even more depressing than minor, you go from that 3-4 formula for minor to 3-3 for diminished. Now if I added one more 3, that would be considered a fully diminished 7th, but this is what we call half diminished. That means it's half super depressing, and then we've got that major third on the top that makes it a bit maybe less depressing. So the formula is 3-3-4 for that half diminished chord. So if we review 3-4-3 for the minor 7th, 3-3-4 for the half diminished chord. So D half diminished. I just love the sound of that chord. And then of course the inversions. So one more time, root position, first inversion, second inversion, third inversion. Okay, so let's start at the top again. We'll just do all root position in the left hand so you can see this. Okay, now we go to that D half diminished. And then it's going to be G7. Okay, so let's talk about G7. So G7, when they just have kind of the letter and the 7, that actually is referring a sort of secret code for a dominant 7th. A dominant 7th is a major chord, major triad with a minor third on the top. So my formula is going to be backwards from a minor triad. So if you remember, minor was 3-4, major is going to be 4-3. So we start with G, it's a G7 chord. We go up 4 half steps, 4 half steps, 3 half steps on top of that. Okay, and then another, so that's 4-3 for your major triad, and then a minor 7th, we're going to have 3 more half steps. So this will be 4-3-3 for the dominant 7th formula, 4-3-3. There's my 3, and then my other 3. And G7's kind of an easy chord to remember. It's all white keys. It's just basically a G chord with that F on the top. And you kind of always know when you're playing a dominant 7th correctly because it feels like you just want to play Happy Birthday, if you're doing arpeggio. of all a dominant seventh, you just kind of feel like you want to play Happy Birthday. So that's kind of a good way to remember it. So anyway, there's my G7. And I think, you know, that last, I just showed you, I played it in root position. And again, we'll just do that from the top. So we're going to have a C minor 7, F minor 7, D half diminished 7, G7, and then back to C minor 7. C minor 7, then F minor 7, D half diminished 7, G7, and then back to C minor 7. Okay? So I hope you're doing well so far, and now we're going to go on to the next part.